From Party Foul in Murfreesboro, here's Blue Raider Extra Point.
Welcome to Blue Raider Extra Point. I'm Abigail Martin, here as always with Chase Owens and with Will Stevenson. We're here at Party Foul in Murfreesboro, ready to give you all the Conference USA action as well as the MTSU athletics for the rest of this week. We're going to go ahead and get started with the starting lineup.
The starting lineup.
While COVID-19 has removed many of the high-profile games of Week 1 this season, 2 games headline a week dominated by a group of 5 teams. I'm Nathan Vaughn, and let's lead off the starting lineup in Provo. BYU was scheduled to host Michigan State at Lavelle Edwards Stadium last Saturday, but instead, the Cougars will play host to the Midshipmen of Navy to open the season. BYU is expected to have a high-powered offense this fall behind Maxwell Award watchlist quarterback Zach Wilson. But that changed this season in practice when leading receiver Matt Bushman was lost for the season with an injury. Bushman had led the Cougars in receiving yards for the last 3 seasons as a tight end, dealing a massive blow. Navy will also have a lot of production replaced on offense this year after star Malcolm Perry was drafted by the Miami Dolphins this offseason. Stepping in to replace Perry will be Dalen Morris, who upset many expectations to land the job. Navy is coming off of a spectacular 11-2 season, which saw them finish inside the top 25. Meanwhile, across the country in West Point, the Black Knights of Army will face MTSU in a last-second season opener for both teams. Army's triple option offense will look to cause issues for an MTSU defense looking to replace key members in its defensive scheme. Army may find it easier to switch gears as the team were prepared to face Oklahoma to open their 2020 season. MTSU's spread offense, led by returning starter Asher O'Hara, who much like Oklahoma QB Spencer Radler can use his legs, may not be as much of a curveball as the tricky triple option. For MTSU, the COVID scramble of postponed and canceled games meant the Blue Raiders were preparing for as many as 3 totally different teams within the last month or two. It will be a challenge for MTSU head coach Rick Stockstill to get his team in line, but Stockstill notably scored an upset over Georgia Tech's triple option offense back in 2012. And that has been the starting lineup.
So set your DVRs. Even though a lot of conferences are sitting out because of safety concerns for COVID, it's still going to be a good weekend of college football.
Of course. And Chase, what are going to be your can't-miss games?
You mentioned some great games. I'm going to stick with BYU Navy. I think that Navy, losing their starting quarterback last year, Malcolm Perry, Perry Olsen's going to step in, and BYU has some changes as well. They're going to transition from a 3-4 defense to a 4-2-5. It's going to increase some speed. Maybe it'll help them out with that option offense.
Of course, and don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back after a quick break. Coming up next with all your MTSU athletic highlights, and that's here on Blue Raider Extra Point.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a 4th ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Son, love is like the ocean. You have to tread the waters.
Dad, that's not the kind of help I needed. Jessica, will you go to prom with me?
Yes.
Thousands of teens in foster care can't wait to share their first with you.
We're back with Blue Raider Extra Point. I'm Abigail Martin here with Chase Owens and with Will Stevenson. We have college football back and we've got you covered. We're going to go ahead and start it off with Noah Boffman and Noah Maddox. We're going to go ahead and call them the Noahs. Seems easy enough. They have the Big Blue Review for us where they're going to take us all around MTSU athletics.
The Big Blue Review.
Welcome to the Big Blue Review with Noah Boffman.
And Noah Maddox.
As you've heard earlier in the show, the effects of COVID-19 have been felt all over campus.
Especially soccer and volleyball.
Exactly, Noah. This year, Conference USA decided to move both soccer and volleyball to the spring season. With that being said, Noah and I were curious how the teams are handling this.
So we interviewed two of the soccer players here at MTSU, Jenny Francis and Liza Slavinsky.
And when they came to campus, the team was getting ready to start their season, set for late August. However, while preparing for the first game, the news broke and their season was then moved to the spring.
But honestly, do you think this could be a good thing for the team?
Well, according to Miss Liza, absolutely. She said, because of this fall being the way it is, it will help the chemistry of the team, especially with the incoming freshmen. This way, they can get used to college before we start playing in the spring, unlike Jenny and I last season.
So, what are the expectations for this season?
Well, Noah, right now everything is up in the air regarding when the season will officially start next semester. And due to the fact that other conferences are still trying to have a fall season, we still don't know. But both Jenny and Liza have one goal in mind.
And what would that be?
To get a ring. No matter how the season goes, the girls believe that with all the extra preparation they are doing, our Blue Raider soccer team is ready for the season to start next semester.
Wow, high hopes and big expectations for the Lady Raiders. But what about the other sports that got moved?
That, Noah, is a conversation for next week when the Big Blue Review talks to the women's volleyball team. Now, back to y'all.
Thank you to our Noahs, and we've got much more coming up on our Blue Raider Extra Point. But up next, we're going to take you around the CUSA.
And Abigail, you're going to have our word on campus.
And my favorite portion of the show coming up, the picks. Thanks for watching Blue Raider Extra Point. We've got more coming for you.
You're watching Blue Raider Extra Point.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day, he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Natural disasters are a fact of life in the U.S. And between activities and school, chances are you won't be with your kids when they happen. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids can help your children feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Welcome back to Blue Raider Extra Point. We're here at Party Foul in Murfreesboro, and I don't know about y'all, but I'm getting a little hungry.
I'm always hungry.
And of course, I'm back here with Will and Chase. Chase has been doing a lot of work this week, ready to take y'all around the CUSA. So go ahead and kick it off for us.
Due to Corona, we have had some postponement of games, but all that means is that we're going to move through around the CUSA a little faster today.
Around the CUSA.
Unfortunately, due to Corona, we only have 2 Conference USGA games for you this week. Marshall versus Eastern Kentucky, and MTSU taking on Army. Without further ado, let's hop into Game 1, Marshall versus Eastern Kentucky. These two teams are no strangers to each other as they have met 20 times. Marshall holds the all-time series lead record at 11-8-1 and won their last meeting, which took place last year, 32-16. Marshall is coming off of a fairly good year. They finished 8-5 and took a trip to the Gasparilla Bowl where they were beaten by the Knights of UCF. With a new starter under center, their herd are looking to rebound against the Colonels of Eastern Kentucky, and to do that, I think they should ride Brendan Knox as far as he will take them. The true junior is coming off a season where he rushed for over 1,300 yards and 11 touchdowns, and he will be the key to carrying the herd to victory. On the other side of the ball, don't think that the Colonels are going to allow the herd to walk all over them. They don't care that Marshall's FBS. All they care is that it's football time, and they want to make a name for themselves by starting the season off with an upset. I said Brendan Knox is the key to victory for the herd, but the Colonels might welcome the matchup as Eastern Kentucky only gave up an average of 3 yards per carry to opposing running backs last year. This might be 2 teams bringing their best foot forward and seeing who's better. Look for an exciting one in Huntington. For the other game this week, the Blue Raiders of MTSU head up to West Point to take on the Black Knights of Army. MTSU is coming off a season they would like to forget, a season in which they were in the negative differential in every positive stat, meaning they were outgained, outscored, and turned it over more than their opponent. And that is not something they look to repeat. Stockstill is entering his 15th season as MTSU's head coach, and he has not had back-to-back losing seasons in over a decade, and he doesn't look to start now. He returns talent in the likes of preseason All-American Asher O'Hara at quarterback and All-Conference USA player Reed Blankenship. Look out for these Blue Raiders as they look to bounce back in a big way. The Black Knights also are coming off of a losing season for the first time since 2015, and they don't want to start their season with a loss. This is the first time that Army and MTSU will meet, and Army wants to start this series off with a win. As we all know, Army is not a team that is going to air it out against you. Even though you know Army is going to run it, it's still not the easiest thing to stop as they still average right at 300 yards per game last season, thanks to that triple option offense. Unfortunately for Army, 2/3 of that triple option attack are gone from a year ago, and with it goes 1,300 yards of offense. Look for Sandon McCoy and Jabari Law to step up in the game and this season for the Knights. It's going to be a big battle in the trenches for these two squads, and I am ready for it.
Thanks, Chase. Now let's go ahead and hear from our True Blue family as we take the word on campus. I'm Abigail Martin from Blue Raider Extra Point, here to give you today's word on campus. Today, I'm going to be going around campus to go talk to some students to see their thoughts for this upcoming football 2020 season. Let's go hear from our True Blue students. Asher O'Hara is such a threat on the offense, running over 1,000 yards last year, 3rd leading rushing quarterback last year in the country. What are you expecting from him this season? Are you wanting him to hold the ball a little bit more and keep without rushing yards, or you want to see him hand it off a little bit?
Well, I mean, he's a dual threat guy. I mean, it's kind of hard to keep somebody in the pocket like that. He loves to run, and he can pass too. Just wherever the defense gives him, he's going to do the best he can.
MTSU is ready to open up their 2020 football season, and first up, they have Army. What are you expecting in this game?
I expect the offense to kind of take off where they where they ended last year. Asher ran the ball a lot. And we have a really good group of running backs coming back. So I think if our defense can step up with Reed coming back from injury last year, and if our offense can keep up what they did at the end of last year, I think we have a shot at winning.
MTSU starts off their season against Army. Are you expecting a win or a loss?
Oh, we're expecting to win. It's going to be a tough game. They're a really good team. They present a lot of challenges with the offense they run, but in the past month and a half, we've really prepared. I think it's going to be a good game, so I'm looking forward to a W.
And that's a wrap for Word on Campus.
Thanks, Abigail. And after the break, Zachary Loam will have this week's scouting report. Stick around.
Catch Blue Raider Extra Point right here Saturday mornings at 10:30 from Party Foul in Murfreesboro.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Son, love is like the ocean. You have to tread the waters.
Dad, that's not the kind of help I needed. Jessica, will you go to prom with me?
Yes.
Thousands of teens in foster care can't wait to share their first with you.
Time for more Blue Raider Extra Point.
MTSU is set to open up their schedule with Army, and this week Zachary Loam has your scouting report.
Army finished last year with a 5-8 record after losing 7 of their last 9 games. They come into the 2020 season having replaced leading passer and rusher Kelvin Hawkins Jr. due to graduating. Hawkins accounted for 1,287 of the team's all-purpose yards. Look for Jabari Laws to step into Hawkins' role. Laws threw for 311 yards last year while completing 80% of his passes, going 16 of 20. Last year, Army ranked 129 out of the 130 qualified FBS teams in completion percentage with 47%, so Laws could help with Army's passing attack. Army did finish third in the nation with 3,863 rushing yards, but it was the first time in 4 years that Army did not surpass the 4,000 rushing yards mark. MTSU gave up 194 rushing yards per game last year, so they'll have their hands full in trying to stop Army, who averaged almost 300 yards per game on the ground. The key for MTSU will be getting Army off of the field on 3rd and 4th downs. Army converted third downs at a rate of 45%, and MTSU gave up third down conversions 44% of the time, which ranked 103rd in the country. Army also converted 26 of their 39 attempts on 4th down, which was ranked 14th in the nation. MTSU ranked in the bottom third again in 4th down percentage given up. with opponents converting almost 60% of their attempts. Both teams were very disciplined last year, as they both ranked in the top 15 in fewest penalties per game. Army only averaged 4.58, and MTSU only committed 4.75. An area where MTSU has the edge is in the red zone. MTSU ranked 18th in the country last year in red zone defense because they only allowed 75% conversion rate, which even edged Clemson. Army struggled in the red zone last year, converting 85% of their red zone opportunities. This one is shaping up to be a good one and is a great way for MTSU to start their 2020 campaign. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Zachary. And now with that scouting report in mind, what are y'all's key to succeed for MTSU this week?
To be successful, MTSU has to do 3 things. 1, they have got to be disciplined. That requires eye discipline and gap discipline by your linebackers and defensive tackles. 2, they have to have a great time of possession, either by holding onto the ball a lot and slowing or making Army speed up, or scoring very fast and then playing good defense. And 3, turnovers. They cannot turn the ball over against a team that runs the clock the way Army does.
I agree with you. I'm going to make my first key also turnovers. If they can limit those turnovers, it'll set them for a great pace for the rest of the game. And also, we need to focus on the rush defense to keep Army's running to a minimum. Army is a very good running team. They don't pass very much. They keep it on the ground. And my last key on the second half play needs to be just as solid as the first. They need to start strong and keep it going. Last year against Michigan, their home opener, they had 2 turnovers. And they started strong and they just let it fall apart. And they need to avoid that, and I think they're going to be just fine.
I'm going to start it off simple. First, set the tone. Not only set the tone for this game early, but you also want to set the tone for the season. You have no idea if this is going to be the last game that you play, so truly bringing it back to Little League, play every game like it's your last. 2, take advantage of the triple option. You've had so much time to go through this. Stockstool has mentioned it a lot. That triple option is going to be hard to play against. So take the advantage that you had with the time and go after it. And 3, share the ball. Asher O'Hara, man, does he run the ball. He was the 3rd leading rushing quarterback in the nation, but you have the backs. Let them take over and share the wealth.
Those are both great points, guys, but we got to take a TV timeout. After the break, stick around to hear our picks for this week's CUSA matchups.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzz and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Natural disasters are a fact of life in the U.S. And between activities and school, chances are you won't be with your kids when they happen. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids can help your children feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
We're back on Blue Raider Extra Point. We're here on week 1, so let's go ahead and get our picks in for the week. For game 1, we're going to have Arkansas State and Memphis. Who you got?
I've got Memphis, high passing attack. I think they're going to walk all over Arkansas State.
Memphis is a strong team. I've got them as well.
I've got Memphis. So we're going to switch it over to game 2, Houston Baptist and North Texas.
North Texas, I think they're just more talented than Houston Baptist, and they're going to take that dub.
I have North Texas also. They're just a stronger team.
I'm agreeing with y'all. I got North Texas. So game 3 is where we're going to switch it up, I bet. MTSU and Army.
I got to go with Army. I know that we are technically the Blue Raider Extra Point, but I think Army's their offense is just really hard to stop, especially with the way they run it, and I think that Army's going to take the win.
I see our Blue Raiders taking away the win. They've got to get a strong win. A win against Army versus a win against another conference team would just boost their season so much better. This win is a must-win.
I've got MTSU, and it's the first time that these two teams are playing, so why not start it off with a win? You're going to go back and set the tone, right? Going back in, SMU and Texas State.
I like SMU. Dubbed Transfer U last year. I think that they walk their way home in that little in-state battle with Texas State.
I've got Texas State taking down SMU. I think it's going to be a nice little upset.
I've got SMU. Going in, we have Eastern Kentucky and Marshall.
I like Marshall. I think that them being in the higher division, it gives them more talent for the most part. There are teams in that lower division that can knock off the higher teams, but I don't think that's the case here. I think Marshall takes it home.
Conference USA strong. I got Marshall taking the win. Got to represent CUSA right.
I've got Marshall going with it as well. And we also have BYU and Navy.
So I think this is another one we're going to have some mixed feelings because I like BYU.
I think Navy's going to grab it. I've always liked Navy. Navy's going to take them down. I'm sorry to tell you.
Oh, I'm sorry to tell you, but I also agree with Chase here, and I'm going with BYU.
Check out Blue Raider Extra Point on Instagram and Twitter.
And that's all the time that we have here today. Don't forget to follow us on social media to see who the biggest loser is for week 1 and who's going to take the forfeit. Thank you to Party Foul in Murfreesboro for hosting our Blue Raider Extra Point. Be sure to tune in here again on Saturday at 10:30 a.m.
I'm sorry to tell you, but Navy's going to take down.
Bro, you chose Texas State over SMU. I'm pretty sure Texas State went like 0-12 last year.
You got to go for those
I
upsets,
can't believe you're not going with MTSU. I mean, we had so much chat on. Come on.
We're being serious. Didn't MTSU win like 4 games last year? Like we're going to choose them over
But
Army,
weren't
who
they
took
injured,
Michigan
though?
to OT.
Wasn't there not?
There's
ton of
no way
injuries?
Michigan or
Reed
MTSU
Blankenship's
beats.
coming back.
But we had
Astro
a
Hair
strong
runs
start
Cool.
against Michigan. We
They've
played
had-
Michigan too.
We got dubbed 42-21 against Michigan.
Second half, man. Second half.
They played 2 halves of football.
But if they keep it up.
Ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.